In this video, I'm going to explain you why you should stop chasing your ex if you want to get back with them. There's something that we tend to do because we have two brains. We have the primitive part of our brain, the system one brain that the Dr. Kahneman refers to, and we have the system two, which is the analytical part of the brain. The problem when you want to get back with an ex is sometimes the primitive brain will take over and will make the decisions for you. In this video, I'm going to explain you what you need to do today in order to get back with your ex. Jingle.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
Before I introduce the next concept, I want to remind you that you can subscribe and like the video. It does help me a lot to bring more awareness of my content, and if you want to support, that's the best and the cheapest way for you to support my work. So when you stop, what happens when you stop? This is when you break this cycle of push-pull. I'm pretty sure you feel in this situation of push-pulling. You try to connect with your ex, you try to sort of get something from them, engage in a conversation, get them to come to you in a way or just spark a conversation, but you feel like anytime you make one step forward, they make two steps backward. And we all have this dance. Anytime we push back, we see our ex coming back. The thing is, what you have to understand is the idea of last impression. When you meet someone for the first time, you have this idea of you leave them a first impression, and we are very much it's very hard for us to disregard first impression. Actually, it's very interesting. You look at studies about that. Sometimes people have a really hard time to remove the labeling they have of people. So if you see someone for the first time and you have a good impression on that person, it's going to be very hard for you to feel that this person is untrustworthy. It's very hard for me today. It's very hot. Taking a sip of water. So you need to change your image. You need to change your image. The problem is when we feel rejected, when we feel that the most important person in our life is pushing us away, what do we do instinctively? We try to cling. We try to rescue the relationship. We try to fight, right? There's nothing wrong with that, right? You're a human being. You have feelings, you have emotions, and you are just reacting. But my job as a relationship therapist is to bring you awareness of how people function, of how you function, because the problem is, as I said in the intro, you are acting with your primitive part of the brain, the emotional part of the brain. And so you leave the image of someone problematic. It's hard, it's going to be complex to get back with someone who's crying, someone who's depressed. Okay, so it's really about changing this whole dynamic from being clingy, needy, problematic to emotional, and so on and so forth. So it's very important for you to stop trying, stop chasing. If you're watching this video, it's obviously because you've tried and it doesn't work. So I'm going to explain what you should be doing. And so when you stop, what happens is that you create a dynamic where X doesn't feel the need to fight, doesn't need the feel to resist. Sometimes we are in this battle with our ex. We want to convince them, we want to pressure them and bring them to a place where we want them to be. And they resist because they feel like, I don't want to get manipulated. I made this decision. Nobody will tell me what I need to do. And they will react. And that will sometimes escalate. That's why it's very important to stop fighting as soon as possible. Because the thing is, when they see you clingy, needy, they are scared of a reaction. Sometimes people who have, for example, an avoidant attachment style, they're not really great with discussing emotions, with welcoming your emotions. So especially after a breakup, when we feel depressed and sad and we want to vent to our ex, if your ex is an avoidant partner, he would push back. He would be scared of having this type of conversation of, when you feel like, I need explanations, I need to understand, they would run away if they have an avoidant attachment style. So the thing is, when you disappear, when you stop fighting, that sparks curiosity. It's mechanic. You are breaking a cycle. People in life, we make assumptions, and we when we make our assumptions, there's a bit of continuity in things. So if They feel that you're fighting, you're being clingy, and as soon as you stop, they'll be surprised. They'll be like, okay, what's going on? They'll be starting questioning the rationale. Why are you stopping to chase them? Are you dating someone? Maybe you lost interest. And you see, in that case, you really reverse the dynamic. You turn tables at this stage because your ex is now in a situation of wandering. And the idea that they took the decision to leave you, but they never really felt the breakup because you were there fighting. Now they start realizing that they took you for granted and they have no certainty. So it's shifted from a place where you were, sad and depressed and anxious because of the uncertainty. Will I get back with my ex? From their point of view, they had the certainty. She or he's fighting. I know I can take them back whenever I want. Now, they don't have this certainty anymore. And even though they took the decision to end the relationship, trust me, it will have an impact on them. One day, they will come back in your life. It's not a maybe, it's an always. So, when I say this, obviously, don't quote me on this for every single relationship. Quote me on this for any meaningful relationship. My clients, the people I work with, they have had meaningful relationships. I don't know how to rescue a relationship when you had a fling with someone, when you are in your 20s and you're flirting and you're hooking up with someone. I don't know how to recover from those relationships. That's not my thing. Maybe you'll find other people who could help you in those type of dynamic. My job and the people I help are people who have had history, who have had projects together, but for some reason, their ex felt the need to leave the relationship because they felt something was not working for them. They felt, I've changed, my ex didn't. They felt, we don't see things the same way. But I still have feelings for that person and I wish things could be different. Okay, so that's just to... So in that context, exes always come back in your life. Come back together, we never know. Come back in your life, that's for sure. And so I know you're watching this video, it's very hard for you to feel that your ex has moved on, or maybe they're dating someone and you will never have an opportunity to discuss or to see them. That's not true. You will have an opportunity to spend time with your ex, to discuss with your ex at some stage. And so the question is not when, the question is, where will you be? That's the most important question. The question I get the most from people who calls me is like, is there any chance of me getting back with my ex, and when will they get back? The first thing is really assessing the strength of the relationship and how you behave after the breakup. If you want to know whether you have a chance of getting back with your ex or not, I suggest you take a quiz. I put together a quiz for you to know in less than 5 minutes if you have any chance of you getting back with your ex. It's a quiz where most people will have a lower score, i.e. they won't have any chance of getting back with their ex. The reason I have that grading is because I want to ensure that the people who are working with me or who wants to work with me, I want to ensure that I can help them. Okay, so take the quiz. If you have above 15, it means that there's a chance. Whether it's 100% no, it's very hard for me. It's a nobody. And if someone tells you that they can guarantee 100% that you will get back with X, well, doubt their abilities and look at their certifications. But the idea is that you have the foundation. And if you do the right things, you will maximize and you might potentially, you'll have an opportunity to at least get to a point of actually, the way it works usually is that my job is to really help you to be in a place where you will have the ability to decide. Because there are things you need to change, there are things your partner needs to change. And sometimes people who work with me, they do that work of change. That's what I'm explaining on this slide, is how you can change your attitude, how you can change your self-worth, how you can change things in your life that you can control, basically. And when you do that work, usually what happens is that your ex comes back in your life, because they always do. And this is when you feel like, okay, do I really want this person? I remember I said, like, maybe your ex thought, I've changed and she or he didn't, or we see things differently. But when you'll see your ex in 3 months, in 6 months, you'll be in a different place. And you will be in a different place and you will have the ability to say, do I want this person? Sometimes we say yes, sometimes we say no. And when we say no, we feel okay with the decision because we don't suffer the decision anymore. It's very different. Sorry, I digress, but it's very important for me to explain you this. So when are we gonna get back with or get in touch with ex? I don't know. The thing is, we have to be really aware of that perception of time. Time is very much subjective. Of course, a month is a month, but the way we perceive a month after a breakup or the way we perceive a month when we start a relationship is way, way different, right? So the thing is, when I say to people, contact them in a month or two, they feel like, wow, it's the end of the world. But actually, if you think about it, 1 month or 2 months to work on yourself, to really look at your insecurities, things that you haven't really worked on, if you think about therapy, people who see therapists, given my background, I've seen a therapist, also personally it really helped me. When you think about, seeing a psychologist, a therapist, it's months of therapy. So thinking that in a month or two you'll change everything in your life to become the person who's more secure, the person who's more confident, you'll be on track, but you won't be able to achieve all your goals, okay, from a personal development point of view. So actually, it doesn't really matter if I tell you you're gonna get back with your ex in 3 months. It's actually 3 months where you can really focus and develop between now and when you get a chance to see your ex. So as I said, we underestimate the amount of time we need to grow and we overestimate the amount of time it needs for your ex to feel the loss. If you've been together for, let's say, 10 years, if you have had a meaningful relationship, your ex won't forget you after a month. Your ex won't forget you after 6 months, actually. So stop thinking that if I don't talk with that person for 3 months, they'll forget me. They'll think I'm gone. No, they will always have you in their mind. There will always be a space in their heart for you. And if they don't, maybe you should question whether that was the right person for you. Okay? So the way you feel, of course, is different because they took the decision. But if you've been married and they said yes on the altar, I will be here for you. Of course, that person will still have you in their heart. Never ever adopt this. So the question is now what you do. You have to start now on that journey. Don't play the game of chasing, of trying to get something. You are feeding your ex's ego by doing that. So break the dynamic of validation seeking. If you, for example, have what we call an anxious attachment style, when people have a tendency to seek validation, that's what you do by trying to get attention from your ex. Break this cycle. Find ways to get that validation from your friends, from people. Work with your therapist to develop that self-worth that we discussed before. Understand how to be detached from an emotional point of view. Not because you don't care about that person, but sometimes we let emotion take the lead. You are not your emotions. Emotions are just a signal. Now, your job with your therapist or on your own is to detach yourself. Break this relationship, sometimes toxic, that we have with emotions, where we let emotions take the lead of our actions. So it's really about being more mindful of how you function, being more mindful about, why is it so hard for me to stay in contact? Why I have this craving to get in touch, to send that message, to watch their stories? Usually there's something behind, usually there's an emotion. So understand also how to self-soothe. A breakup is difficult. Probably one of the most traumatic experiences in people's life. And so you have to learn, and it's something that you can learn, how to self-soothe, how to... that's what we do with Elizabeth when we do our weekly workshop, is providing tools, CBT, DBT tools for people to really feel better in a way. The only person you need to chase right now is you. That's the problem after a breakup, is we tend to lose focus on what really matters. What really matters is you, is how you recover from this, is how you learn from this breakup. In a way, I don't care about your ex. Whether your ex cares about you, that's not the problem. You should care about yourself. You should be focusing all your attention, all your energy on you. Because regardless of the outcome, you will always be you, and you'll be the only person you have to deal with for the rest of your life. The most important person in your life, that's not your ex, that's you. So by focusing that attention on trying to get something, trying to get that validation, for example, from your ex, trying to get this vision, this idea, is the best way for you to feel anxious, depressed, because you put your life's goals, your life's aspiration in someone's hand, regardless of who that person, how amazing this person is. But the problem is that you don't control it. So a breakup is also, sometimes people tell me like, I'm lost, I don't know where I question everything in my life. Yes, that's what you have to do. That's what you have to start right now. The journey starts within. It's not outside. Watching videos will help you. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to bring awareness on things around attachment style and the dynamic of breakups. But the journey starts now within yourself. Whether you do it on your own or we do it with a therapist, that's what matters right now. If you want to get in touch, there are links in the description to book a call with me or Elizabeth. If you found this video helpful, don't hesitate to like and also subscribe to join one of the many subscribers that are joining me every week, and I'm so grateful to have you here. Take care of yourself. Bye.
For a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer.